Hello, and welcome to my city tray. It is the third week of April. We're in the middle of Scotland, and the first thing I wanted to do today was just to show you, look, the tulips are still going. This is Tulip Valencia. I also did a kind of a film of me arranging some of the other tulips that were in the tunnel, and I posted that on Tuesday, so you can have a look at it. I'll link it here. But they're just glorious, absolutely glorious. Can you hear the sparrows? They always keep quiet when I say, "Oh, can you hear them?" So this time of year is the busiest time of year in my greenhouse. So I thought that today I will just take you out there, show you around. You can see what I'm growing, and also the system that I use to get the most plants out of the smallest area. So let's go. I don't even have a coffee today, it is so busy. Let's go. The end of April and beginning of May is the time when there is so much demand on kind of real estate in the greenhouse. So all this clutter is going to have to go because I need that for seed trays. So I have some Nicotiana, that's a lime one. These are some of the hellebores that I transplanted. Then at the back there we've got a kale, and these are tagetes for dyeing, and some calendula. This is calendula playtime mix, which is a really pretty one. Some borage for the bees. These are cosmos cupcakes, which will go into that border under the espaliers. It's just a beautiful, beautiful cosmos. Some more tagetes. Then the back of this tray is scabious black knight, which is very good for eco printing, botanical printing, and some rather lovely, these are ladybird nasturtiums, and then Valentine sunflowers, and this is a geum, a nice orange geum. These are Cherokee Trail of Tears beans, which I got from the Glasgow Seed Library, and some peas that I saved from here. I have mustard, spinach, these are hoppy sunflowers, amaranthus, both of those died. Well, these are my 6 weld seedlings, which you can see. That's an opportunity for getting some space back. Then that's rocket, tobacco plants, more peas, kale, dahlia seedlings. These are fuchsia cuttings and more tobacco plants, and then shall we see what's going on under here. This is my heat mat. This is my 50th birthday present. Now these 2 trays at the end, I don't know what's in them. They are clearly not leeks as I labelled them. Right, here is some chard. Now that's all germinated, really nice. That's a bright light chard. And here, normally I grow things in little seed trays with space. But here I'm trying Elizabeth Vigie Colshaw's method of multi-planting indigo. So that's what that is, and that has not germinated yet. But over here, this is more of my indigo. And look at that, that is absolutely beautiful. And I think that some of these will be ready to put into the trays. Then back to cuttings. That's some fuchsia and centre leaf pelargoniums, and then lots and lots of lettuce. Well, welcome to my greenhouse, and this is where I raise all of the plants for the garden, but also I'm raising plants for the local primary school because we're going to be doing some vegetable growing there, but they don't have a greenhouse of their own yet. For the local community garden, which has a seed swap in a couple of weeks, and also needs to get itself, ready for the season. For a friend who needs some plants, and for the garden here. So it is really a kind of a factory for seedlings, and because of that I have a very clear system. First thing that I do is I sow into half trays. These are half trays that I have had for years and years and years. I think these will last me out. The reason that I use such small trays is that then these trays can go into my heated mat and I can fit lots of them into that. As soon as they germinate, they come out here into the light. They may, if they are kind of a bit wishy-washy, huddle up next to the heated bit, but generally they will come out here, and as soon as they get to this kind of stage, I prick them out into modules. These are the modules. I get them from a particular company who sort of second hand, and again, absolutely brilliant and will see me out. Thing that I like about this particular model, and this has 70 cells in it, because I will show you, take a kale out of here. You can see you get a really chunky root ball. That's a good sized plug, and I will have 70 in here that are like that, ready to go straight out into the garden. A good root system. So today I am going to be pricking these out. Now, I love pricking out. And I know that lots of people don't, and I've got lots of friends who just use the module trays like this and sow their seeds into this. There are a couple of reasons that I don't do that. One of them is that I like the pricking out, as I said, and the other is that having each of these cells filled with one seedling means that I can spot if there's any trouble, if there is a slug or mouse or damping off, because I will see that there are things that I'm missing. And I like that as a kind of an early warning system. And it also saves me space, because if I grow initially in here and then I plant out into here, I'm using all of the space rather than risking having poor germination and having, half of this big tray unused. Also, it's a really nice size to carry out to the garden when I've finished. So, on I go. Make the holes. Just use a pencil. You can get a dibber. 14 at a time. And then I use this. This is a mycorrhizal powder. Some people like it, some people don't. I've not done any experiments. I'm very happy with the seedlings that I get from it. And I just take a pinch, put that in there. Then I loosen off these wee seedlings like that. Take it by the leaves, dip it in and carefully squash around. Again, it's really just like airdropping them in. Don't need any fancy equipment. There we go. And I'll probably do this entire tray of rocket. plant out what I need here, which will certainly not be all of this. And then the other ones, just as I did with the kale, I will take them like that and put them into a tray for the school community garden, my friend. And that will be, I'll be able to do it so that there'll be maybe a couple of rows of rocket and a couple of rows of lettuce and then some spinach and so on, so that this whole tray, although I'm planting it with a single species, or a single type of salad at the moment, which makes looking after it much easier, when I give this tray to somebody else, by then I'll have kind of like rearranged it all by taking it out exactly as I did here, and then I would just pop it into an empty slot there. So I will continue with this and I'll show you how I get on at the end. I find that if I transplant seedlings at this tiny stage, then really most things will transplant really well. Now, I think that even I don't need any more rocket than that. And I will, where did I put my weld? Ah, here we go. I will use that last line there for the weld because there is only 6 of them. With these ones, they're so tiny, I'm just going to take them, scoop them up with the knife and pop them in. And hope that they don't even notice that they've moved. Okay, there's their label, and because I don't like waste, I'll find one of these rockets to go at the back of the thing. And there we are. And then this will stay in here for a couple of days, water it, stay in here, it's nice and cozy, and then I'll put it into a cold frame where it will live for probably a couple of weeks, and by that time all of the roots will have developed and it can go out into the garden or into the greenhouse. With rocket, you don't want it to get too hot because that kind of programs the plants to rush up to seed. So a couple of days in here, out into the cold frames, and then out into the garden. Doesn't it look lovely?